NorCal. 209 King of Comedy. It's Rick without the K. James presents, in my opinion, podcast.
Since we're on comedy, I'm going to jump to the next subject. I kind of alluded. Cheers.
AGT,
The Ric James
baby,
shot
forever.
glasses. Yeah. All right. We talked about.
whiskey.
Go ahead.
Proceed, sir.
We talked about this a little bit, but neither one of us gave our answers.
Right.
I'm going to go first because I was thinking about it. I have two comics on camera right now, so I'm going to ask you guys. I thought about it. Do you want... would you rather have Kevin Hart's career or Dave Chappelle's career? I'm going to answer first. Hopefully I won't get too long-winded, but I think about this all the time, man, and I've seen Kevin say the same shit, is I would rather have fucking Dave Chappelle's career, fellas.
Thank you.
I would rather have the freedom that he has. He's gone on bike rides and just stopped in random cities and thrown shows on the get. And Kevin goes, man, I wish I didn't have all the responsibility that I have to do something like that. But I look at something like that and I'm like, just the career, just the he's like the people's champ. Like we were talking about Nate Diaz. Like maybe he didn't win this past Saturday.
And he lost me $100.
Yeah, and
Kevin
he
Hart
lost.
and Dave
Which-
Chappelle never
which
lost
But
me
he
$100.
won me $1,500 2 years ago when
Which he
fought.
didn't win. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
He didn't win, bro.
So
The guy is stumbling. Hit him in the face, you idiots. What do you want? Okay,
Bro,
sorry.
he got his ass whooped for 4 rounds
Continue.
and got one.
you
big
didn't
punch.
even
My
watch
bad.
the first four rounds.
No, but I know what happened the first 4 rounds.
I'm not even going to hate on the dude because he's won me a lot of money against Anthony Pettis and shit. So my hat's off.
I
209
performed,
in the
okay,
building on Saturday.
we'll circle back
But
to that.
I'm just saying he's the people's champ, kind of like I feel like Dave Chappelle is. I watched
Right.
Faze on Love talking shit on Vlad TV earlier about it. Like he's not even making my top 5, and I don't know why they give him so much credit. Where I look at someone
You
like
said that
Dave.
about who? You said that about Chappelle?
About Chappelle.
Oh, I remember
But this is the
that.
second or third
He tried-
time.
he tried to explain that.
He's shit on
He said
Dave
that black
Chappelle.
people don't fuck with Chappelle.
Yeah. He said
Okay.
that the last time.
It's
Yeah.
fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Phase on.
Come on, man.
Come
So
on, buddy.
that's just
Let's
some
take it easy here,
haterade
friend.
right there.
Yeah.
But
That's like
I
me
look
saying
at
Indians
someone
don't
like
fuck with
Dave
Russell
Chappelle.
Peters. They do.
From Canada.
So
Canada?
I
Very
already
good
know
point.
where he's gonna go, so I'm gonna kick it to you just because.
Oh, 100%.
Because your career, and
I
I'm
would-
not saying that ours aren't, motherfucker. We're right behind you too.
I would
Goddamn it.
take Kevin
But-
Hart's career 10 out of 10 times. Not even close. It's not even close.
Explain that. I'd like to hear this.
Well,
Yeah.
number one, I do like
Because your
pressure.
work ethic
No,
isn't like Kevin Hart's.
It's not even
motherfucking-
close. It's not even
He ain't
close.
waking
Well, I
up
mean,
no
you're giving
4
him the
o'clock in
option
the
if he
morning.
could have it, you know?
No, it's not even close. It's not even close. I get it. But I like the fact that Kevin Hart could have the pressure. I like pressure, though. I could perform under pressure. I've messed up many shows in the past because I got wasted and I didn't give a shit about the show. I get that. I've done that times again. But when it comes down to it, when it's time to go, when you have a studio putting money into you, when you have that kind of career where you got studios on your back and you bringing up people. Kevin Hart has shot about 60 specials for other comedians.
Right?
60. Kevin Hart, Heart of the City. Our boys, Mario Hodge, Cody Woods, all those guys.
Yeah.
G King. Okay, and he's done that repeatedly. Vincent O'Shaughnessy got a half-hour special off of him. I like that pressure. I like the fact that a huge billion-dollar company will look at you and be like, hey, man, where do we go next?
Right.
I want that pressure. Now, how much... I think it'd be great not having that pressure and just going to Texas and doing a Dave Chappelle comedy camp and bring Joe Rogan and sell out the MGM Theater. I think that's great. Don't get me wrong, it's Kabir Singh. I'd have more fun doing that. Click, click. But I will say one thing, though. I think that Kevin Hart's career is crazy. You could talk to 3 of my cousins in India. They'll know Kevin Hart, and they probably
Sure.
would probably rather. I would guess maybe one of them would know Chappelle. I know all 3 of them would know Kevin Hart. So I would take Kevin Hart's career in a heartbeat because I think that's movies, man. Was that Jumanji 1 and 2?
Yeah.
I mean, these are billion-dollar franchises that are on his back, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and he had to succumb Soul Plane for that. So it wasn't like he just came up and just started blowing it up. He failed with Soul Plane, sucked,
Epic.
failure, and then he still came back with his great hour special, and now he's the there's the public champion. What did you say? The people's champion.
People's
There's the
champion.
people champion, and there's the public champion. Kevin Hart is the public champion.
Oh,
If you
that's
take
good.
the public, people know who Kevin Hart is more. Who do I think is more talented? I have no clue. I think they're
Right.
both great. Who do you think is funnier? I have no clue. I think they're both great. But I know
Dave.
for one thing, I think Dave Chappelle is hilarious. But
think
let's
he's
not act
funnier.
like Kevin Hart is not funny either.
And I want to say Kevin has
Kevin
said
Hart's
that Dave is funny.
Right.
That's fine. I think Dave Chappelle would say
So-
that Kevin Hart's funny too.
I think he thinks he's
I
funny,
think he
but
has,
he doesn't
actually.
think
I think
he's
he has. I'm
funnier.
I don't.
Well, who's
I
going
used to be
to say?
older.
You know, who's going to say that?
And I know it's subjective,
What comic
right?
is going to be like? Well, this guy's way funnier than me. Not openly. They might say it in a roundabout way, but they're not going to say it directly. I mean, a few comics have. I think recently you're talking about Vlad TV. I think recently, actually, Kevin Hart said that Dave Chappelle is funnier than him and Chris Rock.
Yeah.
Like they've come out. And,
I'm gonna have to look that one up.
But you know, Kevin Hart can say that because he doesn't give a shit. 'cause he's
Exactly,
making
because he's got
1 million a
way,
movie.
you know. But
All right.
okay.
So,
but here's
so
the
your
thing.
answer is obviously Kevin Hart.
No, my answer is not Kevin Hart. My answer is Dave Chappelle, but there's a reason why Dave Chappelle has, I think, more pressure than Kevin Hart. And I think it's because he is the people's champion, so to speak. And I think that the legacy of Dave Chappelle is going to live on, not longer, but in a much different vein. I mean, Kevin Hart is the guy that you go to for surface funny. And there's nothing wrong with that. At all. I feel like Dave Chappelle is the guy that you go to not just to hear him tell jokes, but you also want to hear him speak his mind. Kevin Hart, because of all the responsibilities that he does have, and God bless him for taking it head on and giving
And
so many
bringing
people
motherfuckers-
opportunities.
Come on.
So all that.
No,
He doesn't
all
just take that
God
for
bless
himself.
him. But you have to admit though, Kabir, there does come a level of restriction that you have to place upon yourself when you have so many people invested in you.
Absolutely.
There's a level of restriction that you have to place upon yourself. You can't go full on. You can't be 100% honest
Yeah.
all the time.
Quick question though. So what do you think is harder to do? Be hella funny with no restrictions or be hella funny with restrictions?
I think it's fun. I think it's harder probably in the moment to be hella funny with restrictions.
Right.
I see what you're saying because you have a quote unquote handicap.
It's a huge handicap.
A huge handicap. But what Dave Chappelle has proven to the world through an action that very few of us would ever take, because very few of us would ever walk away from the notoriety and the money and be subjected to being called crazy.
No, it's called not being ready for the pressure though.
Well,
They
wait a
handed him
minute,
what
wait a minute though. But wait a minute
No,
though.
I think
They handed him some pressure. They said we'll give you 20 million.
But
Okay.
here's the thing though, Kabir.
But I don't know the whole story, of course. I'm not.
No, well, none of us do.
Well, it's just what we're reading on the news.
We're going off
just for the record,
speculation.
I just want to
We're
say
going
I don't know.
like
what-
we're
what's
all
going
going
on
off.
there.
We're all going off speculation.
But I think that's why I respect Dave more.
Well, but that's because we as the spectators had the opportunity to watch the whole thing unfold. When Dave Chappelle walked away from $50 million in Comedy Central and all that, I'm sure a lot of us were like, man, this motherfucker's tripping.
Leaving his friends in the dust.
And leaving his friends in the dust, man, this motherfucker's tripping. But the story didn't end there. I mean, we have to acknowledge the fact that we saw it all unfold. He came back bigger and stronger and better than ever. And the people have accepted him on a level that's deeper than even when he was doing the Chappelle show. So when we talk about whose career would I rather have, you know, Kevin Hart, obviously, something phenomenal that he's been doing. Hashtag comedic rock star shit. That's his hashtag.
Come on. Yeah, that's annoying actually.
I know, but
I might have
changed
changed my answer if I knew that before that.
no. But I mean, but I'm saying though, he's branded himself that way, and God bless him for doing that. But personally, on a more romantic level, I just look at Dave Chappelle's career and I say, it's dope as fuck to be buried, and then have the ability to rise up again.
I totally understand,
So that's where my mind is and my heart is leaning.
I
towards.
agree 100% with everything you said there. I just think that I don't think that, you know, I don't know. Kind of bared himself though. It wasn't like somebody else told him that. He did it himself.
He did. No, he
and
did.
And then he came back.
He did.
It's not like Robert Downey Jr. who was doing. You want to talk about a redemption story? Look at that career.
Right.
He's killing the 80s. Lives on the street doing cocaine and comes back
he
and makes $1
buried
billion.
himself too,
I
though.
don't know. He did.
He buried himself too through
he did.
his drugs and his activity.
But yeah,
he did.
But he did it to himself.
The difference between Robert Downey Jr.
The powers that be did it to Dave.
Exactly.
And Dave just
That's
kind
the
of
difference.
said,
No,
"Fuck
you're
it."
right. You're right.
Where,
So
again,
there's something there.
No, you're right.
Did you ever watch him on that the fucking actor studio shit? Like he did a 2-hour
John
special.
Lipton or Jim Lipton or whatever his name is. Yeah.
And he talked about it. He goes, if the price got too expensive, walk the fuck away.
Who said that?
Dave Chappelle said that.
And I said, that's where I watched that 2-hour special, man, and I damn near cried watching that shit. Because at some point, I tell my boys that same shit. Like, if you feel like it's not worth it, Like, I'm that person. I felt like, I don't give a fuck if you were to make me famous tomorrow, but I had to suck a dick to do it. Then I'll stay not famous, goddammit.
I'll suck that dick.
How big is it?
Yeah.
So,
Two hands
I
or
feel
one?
like
My eyes can
I've
close
always been
pretty
that
tight.
person.
I've been practicing.
I've had jobs, which I won't say employers' names, but I've had jobs where I've looked my employer in the eye and I'm like, I'm not going to do what you think
Well, we're
I
all
should
comedians. As a comedian, so you guys asked a very specific question. It was,
did.
whose career would you rather
Yeah,
have?
yeah.
I would take Kevin Hart's career. Who do I think
And we
is
would
the
take
GOAT?
Dave. Thank you.
I'll tell you right now that I think Dave Chappelle is probably the GOAT.
Right.
So, but that wasn't
Okay.
the question. I think that Dave
Okay.
Chappelle is the funniest stand-up comedian of all time. But Kevin Hart's a movie star. I would take that career, and he's a stand-up comedian star. I would take that career over Dave Chappelle's. But I'm just saying that I think the pressure that Kevin Hart, he got a little pressure. Okay, I don't know what Dave Chappelle did with that pressure. I can't comment on that. But what Kevin Hart did, they threw him a lot of shit, and he went out there and he has not fucked up once. He's taken care of everything that he's done.
I'll tell you like this.
And a brilliant speaker.
Kevin Hart,
He's very good.
phenomenal.
Oh,
speaker.
come on. Oh, can I just? I'm so sorry. I hate to interrupt
go for
you.
it. Go for
but
it.
I just want to say that if you ever think about this. Like Dave Chappelle's a little kind of relaxed and shit like that. You put Kevin Hart on say ESPN First Take,
Right.
and you put Chappelle on a segment and Kevin Hart in a segment.
It's not even close. So that
It's me versus my girlfriend at this
Dave
point.
Chappelle in a
Not close.
in a fiery, compelling conversation is probably not what you want.
He's a
Yeah.
performer and an
Yeah.
entertainer.
and he's a
Yeah.
thinker.
and one's the greatest comedian of all time.
Right.
I mean, we're comparing
Right.
two careers here that you just cannot.
No, yeah, it's incomparable, and that's why the question is so
It's hard.
interesting.
No,
'Cause
no.
It's a
they're
very good
incomparable.
Like I said, I was just.
But I
driving
do
here
want to
and-
throw this out there though. The thing about Kevin Hart though that Dave Chappelle will never be able to attain is that Kevin Hart has put himself in a position where, as far as we know, he hasn't completely abandoned his integrity just yet, and still he's getting all these opportunities, all this attention, and he's putting himself in a position where he could do so much more than he's already done.
We're talking Kev, right?
Kevin Hart.
He told the Academy Awards to suck his dick.
Thank you.
What else do you want him to do?
But
But that
there's
almost cost him
No,
his
no, but-
career.
No,
But-
they would never do it.
But he was coming after him.
But Rick, he was willing to do it, and I bet you somewhere deep down in his heart of hearts, it's because, no pun intended, it's because he saw a guy like Dave Chappelle say, "Nah, fuck that. I'm gonna do what I think is right." And he's gonna follow that lead, and I think that Dave Chappelle maybe set an example for Kevin
It
Hart.
is impossible to know this, but I'm almost 80 to 90% sure that's what occurred.
There's got to
Very
be
good point.
something in there because he saw how Dave Chappelle did it, stuck to his guns, came back and rose up like a phoenix. And when the Academy Awards told him, "We want you to do A, B, and C," he was like, "I'm not in tune with that, so y'all could do your thing, and I'll do
And
my
he talks
thing."
about it on his
He does.
Netflix
And
special or
that's
whatever. where-
Is that the one that he
Yeah,
did
yeah,
at his
no, no.
house?
Not the special
Have you seen the special that
but
he
he
did
did
at
like
his
a
house?
6-episode series, and he talks about like how he felt and how he had to get it right and,
Good for
and all
him.
that other
Yeah.
shit. Where even just cataloging that, where I was like, that was dope the way he did that and cataloged it. Through,
I think they're
through the
both dope.
episodes.
They're both
So,
hilarious. They both have amazing careers. If I had half the career of either one of them, it would be amazing. So
Yeah,
like,
that's
let's just
very
give credit where credit's due. Those are two of the best. But it's also like in an Indian way. That's asking like, whose career would you rather have, Russell Peters or Aziz Ansari?
Right.
It's like I would like.
Really?
Aziz, because Aziz, I mean, they're nowhere near the
definitely
level.
want Russell.
No, they're nowhere near the level of the other two. But
Right.
Aziz has like 2 Golden Globes. He has a hit show on Netflix. He's mainstream. He's been in movies with shit like that. And then you got Russell Peters,
Who never got offered none of that.
who's the funniest mother.
But yet
You
remains-
watch an hour of Russell
Right.
versus Aziz. I mean, it's
But
not even
after
with all
I
due respect.
see, for me, that alone too, I couldn't even put those two together. Only because I know that Russell Peters, like shit. Did you know he was friends with Lennox Lewis and shit? They grew up together. Like,
Oh, no,
yeah.
Oh, well,
like,
Lennox
yeah.
is from Canada,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken.
He's-
He
with all
grew
the
up with him,
fighters.
boxed
Yeah.
with him.
All the
He
UFC
fucking
guys.
yeah. Just the fact that he's the executive producer on the shit that we talked about for the hip hop shit.
Right.
Yeah, and the hip hop evolution or whatever. He's the just the fact that this dude is just artistically.
No, Russell.
above-
Russell's the Chappelle
like,
in
you
that
can't
in that
compare those
corner.
two
Like
in that
he's
regard.
I'm in Echo Park, right? And then we're at a dive bar, and Russell Peters is DJing at 10 o'clock. The guy
the
comes
fuck
in, what's
outta
up,
here.
buddy? Take a couple
Get the
shots. He's like,
fuck
what's up,
outta
Kabeezy?
here.
Brings him on stage. He's just DJing at a
He's in Echo Park DJing?
because he was a DJ.
I
before
know,
he was a
I
DJ.
know that,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I like the
Having
fact that
best
he's
time
still
was like
doing it though.
0 bodyguards, 0 friends. He comes solo. And then I gotta hang out with him till like midnight.
Well, because
it was great.
salute.
you
That's
do
our
know
guy.
that motherfucker.
He's not doing
got
that?
hands,
Salute.
right?
Kevin Hart's not doing that.
Real talk, yeah.
Dave Chappelle
But then
might do
again,
that.
he ain't got hands like
Oh yeah,
Russell Peters.
Peters will fuck you up.
Yeah,
from the podcasts that I've listened
There's
to
a couple
before,
he's a big
of
motherfucker.
comics that you shouldn't fuck with.
And
but-
there is nobody nicer in the game than Russell Peters. There's Gabriel Iglesias, Russell, and Angelo Johnson. From my experiences, those three have been the nicest human beings I've ever met in the game of stand-up.
Boy, Charlie Murphy, my main man, Ric James. That's the one you think, the comedian Ric James. Get up.
I can't hear my neighbor crying, I can't breathe.
Please hit the subscribe button down low so you can see all new clips, all new episodes coming to you.